Ferdinand Emmanuel Edgerlin Marcos Sr. was born on September 11, 1917 and died on September 28, 1989. He was a Filipino politician who was the President of the Philippines from 1965 to 1986. He ruled as a dictator under martial law from 1972 until 1981. In 1969, he was re-elected, becoming the first Philippine president.
When we hear the word Marcos era or Marcos regime, two perspectives are coming up into our mind, the negative and the positive perspective. When you say negative, the words are human rights violator, dictator, about the martial law, which is very controversial still in the present.
And the second perspective is the Marcos regime as the golden age of the Philippines. Without further ado, let's talk about the contribution of science and technology during Marcos era.
So let's proceed to the different or major achievement in the field of science during the Marcos era. We have the first one, which is the Philippine Council for Agriculture and Fisheries. This council aims to help the national research and development efforts in agriculture, forestry, and natural resources of the Philippines. It does so by assisting with the planning strategies, formulating policies, and programs for the development of agriculture in the country. And we have the second one, which is the Philippine Coconut Research Institute. On 1954, it was named as the Philippine Coconut Administration, or the so-called PhilCoA, with the same functions and responsibilities. But 10 years later, it expanded its scope of operations and renamed as the Philippine Coconut Research Institute, an agency that was created to monitor and evaluate and conduct researches on the coconut. And the third one is the Philippine National Oil Company, or abbreviated as the PNOC. It was created on November 9, 1973 through the Presidential Decree number 334 in answer to the energy crisis which is crippled in the Philippines. Its primary purpose as a government-owned and controlled corporation is to provide and maintain an adequate and stable supply of oil and petroleum products for domestic requirements.
So, in addition to the science contribution in Marcos era, he created National Grains Authority, or known as National Food Authority, to provide for the development of the rice and corn industry to fully harness it for the economy of the country. Presidential Decree number 4, Section 1972. It functioned in ensuring the food security of the country and the stability of supply and price of the staple grain rice, and also we use and have this in our community in this present time. Another one he established is the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services and Administration, or known as PAG-ASA, under the Department of National Defense to provide environmental protection and to utilize scientific knowledge to ensure the safety of the people. Presidential Decree number 78, Section 1972. PAG-ASA include the provision of weather forecast and tropical cyclone warnings and bulletin and advisories, hydrological, climatological, and farm weather forecast. And lastly, he enacted a law under Presidential Decree number 1003A, Section 1976, to establish the National Academy of Science and Technology, which is composed of scientists with innovative achievement in the basic and applied sciences to serve as a reservoir of scientific and technological expertise for the country. NAS's role is to give advices to the President on matters related to science and technology, and it and engage in project and programs and embarks on programs traditionally and internationally expected of an Academy of Science. These are some of the laws that President Marcos implemented during his reign as the President of the Philippines that up to now is still using and adapting. His government was the most successful era that gives such help for the Filipinos. And that will be all for the science contribution in Marcos era. I hope you learned something and you discover something in my discussion. I'm Hazel Missy Ayo, your discussion.
I am Clarissa. In addition with what my group mates tackled earlier about the major achievements and the contribution of Marcos era in science, we will now proceed to the technologies. But first, what is technology? Again, technology is the collection of techniques and processes used in the production of goods or services, or the accomplishments of objectives such as scientific investigation. So, President Marcos wanted the Philippines to become an energy self-reliance country, and that is why in his regime, he completed 20 power plants. So first we have a hydroelectric power plant. It is a system with 3 parts. First, a power plant where the electricity is produced. Second, a dam that can be opened or closed to control water flow. And third, it is a reservoir where water is stored. The water behind the dam flows through an intake and pushes against blade in a turbine and causing them turn. So the turbine spins and generator to produce electricity. Now, what are those hydroelectric power plants? First in line is the Agus 2 hydroelectric power plant on 1979. Second is the Agus 4 hydroelectric power plant completed on 1985. Agus 5 hydroelectric power plant on 1985. Agus 6 hydroelectric power plant recognition on 1977. Agus 7 hydroelectric power plant completed in 1982. And Angat hydroelectric power plant completed on 1967. There's a lot of hydroelectric power plant, right? But not just that. During the Marcos era, they also achieved the nuclear power plant. And what is nuclear power plant? It was initiated by the Marcos administration, of course, in response to the 1973 oil crisis and was designed to reduce the Philippines' dependence on imported oil. So we have the Bataan Nuclear Power Plant on 1983. And that was the major contributions and achievements of Marcos era in technologies.
This technology was being built by our late President Ferdinand Marcos. So a lot of his project includes the infrastructures and the buildings. So first infrastructures or buildings he built is the Philippine International Convention Center or the PICC. So this state-of-the-art convention center located in the Cultural Center of the Philippines complex in Pasay, Metro Manila. And it also was also the host of numerous local and foreign conventions, meetings, and social affairs gatherings. And next is the Makiling Center for the Arts or National Arts Center. So this infrastructures was established in 1976 by First Lady Imelda Marcos as sanctuary for young and aspiring Filipino artists. So it is for formerly for the artists.
Ferdinand also made a letter of instruction LOI 949. The legal basis of PHC was signed by President Ferdinand E. Marcos, adopted PHC as an approach towards the design, development, and implementation of programs focusing on health development at community level here in the Philippines. Another contribution of the Marcos era is the National Kidney Transplant Institute, where the National Kidney Foundation of the Philippines created on January 16, 1981 by virtue of Presidential Decree 1832 signed by then President Ferdinand E. Marcos. Its main goal is to help the patient with kidney diseases. It was created with a threefold mission of service, training, and research, primarily for the benefit of the Filipino afflicted with kidney. Next is the Children Medical Center in the Philippines. It was created on August 10, 1979. The hospital known as the Lungsod ng Kabataan was established through Presidential Decree 1631. It also has the most comprehensive pediatric rehabilitation facility and the most extensive pediatric multi-specialty for inpatients as well as for clinic service to outpatients and referral. Another accomplishment is the Lung Center of the Philippines. It was established through Presidential Decree No. 1823 on January 16, 1981 to provide the Filipino people state-of-the-art specialized care for lung and other diseases. According to the late President, there are many things we do not want about the world. Let us not just mourn them, let's change them.